We'll place on our backs and we'll get started. Okay. So let's start on our backs, and we're going to have the knees bent. So feel your feet planted and connected to the earth. Feel how your body just is connecting. So sacrum, and then where in the middle of your back do you start to feel the pressure, and then where on the back of your head. And we'll just take a moment to roll the head from left to right, giving a little bit of movement, a little bit of stretch on those side neck muscles. Maybe if you've been at a computer a lot, or maybe you've been out playing in the snow, or who knows, could be anything. We're just rolling the head from side to side. And then feeling how your feet can be pressing into the floor. Let's take a little pelvic tilt here. We're gonna rock the pelvis back, flatten the low back into the mat, and then release that, tilt the pelvis the other way, and create a small arch in your low back. So let's just begin to open up through the hips. Maybe it translates up the spine. And we'll keep our breath going as we inhale and exhale. Good. Now let's find that neutral spine. So you're going to stop halfway in the middle. We're going to go ahead and turn on the core. So pulling navel to spine right here. We'll float the right leg up and float the left leg up. We'll find that tabletop position. Good. And then from here, we're going to bring the knees in a little bit closer, and maybe you can grab behind. So if grabbing on the top of your shins doesn't feel good on your knee joints, then go ahead and grab from underneath and simply pull the thighs towards your chest. And we'll take a little rock from side to side. And we'll keep the breath going. And then we can bring the fingers on top of the kneecaps, just real gentle. And we'll take a nice circle. So feel how you're rolling around through your sacrum, giving yourself maybe a little low back stretch. And then we'll reverse it back the other way. And then we're going to shoot one leg straight out towards the edge of your mat, and the other leg will be pulling in towards your chest. So let's start with it in alignment, and then we can take it off to the side ever so slightly towards your shoulder. So a nice hip opener here to begin. And then we'll come back to center. Let's switch legs. Other leg's gonna shoot straight out. First, we pull straight in towards the chest, and then off at an angle, just a little bit. And we'll come back to center, plant that foot. Let's bend both knees. We're gonna walk the pinky toes to the edges of your mat. Inhale, float the arms up overhead. So I want you to enjoy this opening, the flaring. Let the ribs open and flare. Maybe you even come to a little bit of a back extension. Maybe you tilt your pelvis as you reach as far as you possibly can go. Inhale and then exhale, and then settle back to that neutral spine. And inhale again, reach, open through the ribs. Maybe the shoulders even shrug up towards your ears. And inhale and exhale and release and come back to your neutral spine. So keeping arms up overhead, unless you have a shoulder that doesn't like that position, then you could simply slide your arms down to cactus or not even at all. Let's allow the knees to drop over to one side. So hold here for just a second. We'll keep the breath going, but notice where you feel this. Maybe it's an opening through the lats, through the ribs, through the whole side of your abdominals. Maybe the hip is getting lengthened and the quad. And then we'll come back through center, allow the knees to roll over to the other side. So here's where you can decide on your rhythm. Maybe you're feeling like, oh, it just feels good to hang out on one side for a bit. Or maybe you're feeling a little more energetic and you want to allow the knees to kind of rock from side to side. So find that speed limit for your body right now, whatever feels good as you roll from side to side. And you can imagine that as the knees roll, you're actually getting longer through your spine. So it's sort of like if you were making bread and you were, it's probably gluten-free bread, right? Gluten-free bread, and we're rolling out our dough, and the dough is getting longer and longer as we roll it. That's what's happening right here within our spines. Good, and we'll come back to rest in the center. Bring the arms down, sit your body on the mat once again, heavy through the sacrum, and we're gonna float one leg up. So I'm gonna show you a couple options because we're gonna come into a figure four. So if this position, if your knee or hip doesn't like it, then you could definitely just do sort of a crossed leg, like so, and come into your little butterfly. Otherwise, we'll cross an ankle over a knee with a flexed foot. And I'm not going to say left or right because we'll do both sides. So you guys can just pick one side to start with. So we'll allow the knees to fall over to one side. So notice how you can stay grounded through the opposite shoulder. So if it feels like your arm really wants to lift up, perhaps maybe don't go over quite as far, or there's another option to go ahead and allow the shoulder to come up. So you decide how much spinal twist you want to feel right here. Inhale, abs come into play as we come back through center. Now keep your legs just like that with a flexed foot, and now we'll allow the knees to fall over to the other side. So if you're on the side where your foot is on top of your knee, maybe you push that foot down a little to give yourself a little bit more of a stretch on that thigh, that quad. Inhale through center and then come back to center. And then let's just give a little hug, option to be on top or underneath. Rock from side to side. And then we'll plant the feet once again. And we're going to push up into a little bridge in between. So tilt the pelvis, push through the feet, lift the hips up to the sky, look forward, so don't look sideways just yet, and then roll down slow, one vertebrae at a time. Good, we'll find the neutral spine, and we'll float the legs up, and then we'll take our figure four on the other side. So with a flexed foot here, and then there's that option of doing this more in a butterfly position with your one thigh crossed over the other. All right, arms are reaching out into a T. We'll let the knees drop over to one side. And you can also be looking in opposition of those knees. So that just accentuates the spiral of the spine and lengthens it even more. So we're really squeezing out all the toxins here. Inhale, engage the abdominals, bring the legs back up to center, and now we'll allow them to fall over to the other side. Again, you can look over that opposite shoulder. Inhaling, exhaling, and then we'll come back to center, unravel the legs, give them another hug, side to side. So we're going to come into a happy baby. So let me show you a variation with your strap. If you want to reach over and grab it, you could. So you could put your feet inside the strap, okay? And it doesn't matter if your strap is connected or not connected. But here you can be pulling down on the strap. So if I didn't have my strap, I'd be grabbing out from my pinky toes and pulling knees down towards my shoulders. I'm really opening up through that whole root chakra area, and you could rock from side to side. So the strap can just give you a little something to pull on if reaching for your feet seems too far away. It's really optional. It's really up to you. And then we can just rock it side to side. Inhale and exhale. Good, and then we'll release. If you have the strap, you can take it off, set it to the side. Now you're going to nod your head and scoop and curl and come to a little ball. Your shoulders are down, eyes are on your belly button, and here we go. We're going to start to rock and roll. So we're finding our little rolling like a ball, only coming to the middle between the shoulder blades. And then trying to keep the heels as close in as possible so we don't let them fly away. So one more. All right, hold it here. See if you can find a balanced position. And then softening through those shoulders, we're going to reach one leg up towards the sky. Inhale and exhale, and the other side. Good. Let's do one more each side. All right. Now, if you are adventurous, I'm going to invite you to take a roll back with one leg extended. So you'll take your roll back, you come up, and you hold. And then we'll switch to the other side. So pointed through that toe, rolling back. So we're using the abdominals right here to find our support and our stability. So if reaching the legs long doesn't work for you, then you can stay in that tiny little ball. And then when you're ready, if you would like, you can try for the twofer, all right? So here we go. Basically, this is our teaser. We come up and we hold. And we go back, we inhale and exhale, and we hold. Now, if you can hold here, great. You can also come to bent knees. We can release through those hands. Shake out those shoulders just a little bit. Inhale here. And then we'll come down the feet. So you're going to roll around. Now I'm going to show you, we're going to come into some cat-cow series, but I want to show you if having your weight through your wrists or being on your knees, both of them don't feel so good, then I'm going to invite you to grab your chair and pretend like this is the floor, and this will be where you do these next set of moves from here, okay? So, but I'm going to go ahead and stay down on my hands and knees. All right, so another variation for wrist protection is to come up on your fists. So you have alignment right here through this joint. So play around with that and see what feels good to you. So with the tops of the feet planted, we're going to scoop the belly and press the spine up to the sky on an exhale, and then we're going to inhale and look up, let the belly drop, crown of head and tailbone connect overhead. Good, and then scoop and curl, tuck the tailbone, push the earth away, and then we come up, inhale and exhale. Good, last one, come to center. All right, so for this next one, we're going to come into a thread the needles. You can definitely still do this on the chair. So from my all fours position, I'm going to sweep one arm open. Gaze can follow that hand up to the sky. Inhale, and then exhale as you slide it underneath, dropping down to the side of your head. So if you're on the chair, maybe the side of your head can connect to the seat, maybe not. The other hand can reach up to the sky and then come around the low back and tuck in between the belly and the thigh. Take a breath there. Inhale, plant that hand, sweep open one more time. Good, and then we come back to our starting position. All right, so I'm going to show you from the side. We're going to extend one leg long, and then we're going to cross it behind. All right, so I'm crossed behind, and I can connect the ball of my foot. So I could definitely be here up on my fists. I could also be on my elbows here as another possibility. Or you can be up on the chair. All right, so here we're going to sweep open. So the leg that is bent in front, that arm is going to sweep open. So gaze can follow that hand all the way up. Inhale, plant. Now the leg that's behind is going to come out to the side. All right, so I'm stacked right over this knee. I have some length coming through this inner thigh. So here you can come forward, soften and bend the elbows, drop the upper body. Maybe the forehead comes down and connects. So you get a nice stretch through that inner thigh. Inhale. Exhale, scoop the belly round all the way up. Good, and then we'll bring everything back to where we started. All right, another round of cat-cows with a small variation. Curl the toes under. So if you are up on the chair for this, then I'm going to invite you to come up onto the balls of your feet for this next one. Okay, so here we are, curling the toes under. We send the back up to the sky on an exhale. We inhale, look up. All right, now come into a little bit of a wave right here. So pretend like you're going under the limbo pole, and then soften the elbows, send the hips back, slide your body back. So we find like this nice wave-like action. So think of your spine as this supple ripple that's going through the spine. Good, and then one more, come back to center. So with the toes curled, you're gonna send the hips back over the heels. So we're gonna find a nice hip circle with this. And as you send the hips back, you're sending some pressure, some weight into those toes to open those that points of energy that come out through the feet. Good, and then let's reverse that all the way around. And one more. Good, and we come back to center. Release the toes, give them a little tap. All right, so here we go. We're gonna take the other leg, extend it back behind you, and then cross it on the diagonal and plant into the ball of that foot. So you should be able to push yourself forward and back with that back foot. All right, so we're gonna sweep the arm open, the same side as the leg that's forward. We sweep, inhale, and exhale, and come back down. We'll swing that leg out to the side, and then we walk forward ever so slightly. Soften and bend the elbows. The head is dropping down towards the earth. A nice inner thigh stretch. Good, and we come all the way back up. Good, and then we'll come back to our all fours once again. And this time we'll take our sweep open, other side, coming into your thread the needle on the other side. Option to release that hand, wrap it around, tuck it between your thigh and your belly. Inhale and exhale, plant that hands. We come back to our all fours once again. Okay, so now we're gonna come into some plank things. So if you're gonna stay up on the chair, please make sure that this chair is totally stable. It's not gonna slide or roll in any way, okay? So you could be on an elbow on the chair. Otherwise, we're gonna find ourselves on our mat. We're gonna find a plank position. So from here, if you're on your mat, you could explore just pushing forward and back. Again, there's an option for the wrists to be more from a fist position that works, and you can also be from your elbow. So you have a lot of options here. So whichever one you choose, you're going to be pushing forward and back, forward and back. Awesome. I'm going to choose to go up onto my hands. Let's tilt the heels one way, maybe towards, so you're facing towards your camera. We'll release the top arm up to the sky. All right, listen carefully. Top foot is going to plant straight in front of your body. So my shin is parallel towards your camera. So you're reaching your hand up to the sky. Turn and look up. Inhale here. So now push the hip, push through that foot. Lift your hip a little higher and then lower back down. So again, I could be on my elbow right here. I could also be up on my chair. Lift and lower. So a nice stretch through this hip. Lift and lower. This hand, this top hand, is going to spiral down, connect with the mat. I release the back foot. I find plank once again. Drop to your knees and sit back towards your version of a child's pose. So arms are reaching forward. Hips are reaching back over the heels. Your forehead can connect down with the mat. So here, let's take a second to roll our head from side to side. Whatever surface it is, it could be your mat or it could be on the chair. Just giving your neck a little love, a little stretch. Good, and inhale, we're gonna come right back up. I'm just gonna turn my body so I'm facing your camera still. I'm gonna find my plank position once again. So from this plank position, I want to make sure that wrists, elbows, and shoulders are in alignment. My navel is pulling back towards my spine. Cool. And then we'll tilt the heels. Release one hand, extend it up towards the sky. That top foot is going to come and plant straight in front. So you can see how you can push through that foot. Now turn and look up towards your hand. Inhale and exhale. Now lift the hip a little higher. Push through that foot, up and down. It's a small movement, but send some energy through the base of that foot. Inhale and exhale. One more. Good. This hand is going to spiral down, plant on the mat. I pivot my body. I find back into my plank position. This time, when I drop to my knees, I'm going to open them wide and come into a wide-kneed child's pose. This is the part where you imagine that I'm coming around and I'm squishing on your low back and sacrum to traction you. So you might have to reach around and do it to yourself. Maybe you could take one hand and lengthen. This is the part where this virtual stuff, you know, we can only do so much. So, all right, imagine that you're being pressed. We're giving you a little squish on that sacrum. And take a breath or two there. Nice. All right, we're walking hands back and we're rising all the way up. We're gonna come up to a standing position and we're gonna grab our strap when we go. All right, so here we are in our standing position. It doesn't really matter if your strap has a loop or is one long thing, but you do wanna have it long enough so that you can reach up overhead and have it be a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. So let's take a pretty wide stance and we'll turn the toes out ever so slightly. Reach the strap or the belt, whatever it is you have, up overhead. Before we move from here, I just want to show you from the side real quick. So I don't want to be out and I don't want to be tucked. I want to be right in the middle. So my tailbone is heavy. And as I sink down ever so slightly, I'm going to have some softness through my knees. My knees are tracking right out over my foot. We're going to come into a side bend with this. So inhale here. So I don't want to be forward or back, but I want to just be straight out from my body. So pull your strap away from each other so you create a little bit of tension in there. And come back up through center, and we'll take a side bend the other way. So take a second to enjoy that opening in the side body. Good, and we'll come back to center. Beautiful. Now, square the toes to the front. Now we're going to take a wide-legged forward fold, but maybe we could even take those toes inward slightly. So reaching forward, I have a flat back right here. Keep pulling out on the strap and then slowly lower upper body down towards the earth. Now soften the knees right here and maybe one knee bends and then the other knee bends. And if you don't want to reach all the way to the floor, by all means, just come hands to knees and you can just shift the weight from side to side. And take a breath there. Cool. All right. So from here, we're going to come back up. So we got to engage the whole back side of the body. Engage the abdominals. Slowly start to bring your body upright. We'll reverse what we just did. So I'm reaching straight out in front, and then I come all the way back up to standing. Cool. Now bring your feet in a little bit closer and bring your strap straight out in front. All right, so we're gonna do a little bit of a twist with this. So I'm soft through the knees, my tailbone is heavy, I'm relaxed through my shoulders, and I'm gonna take my strap and I'm gonna take it over to the side. And maybe I can even take it kind of on a back diagonal from me. My hips are gonna try to stay square to the front. Good, so come back through center. So we have to keep the abdominals working so that we have some space to take our twist. So go to your rhythm, to the left and to the right. So we'll do this a couple times. What you might find is that you have a little bit more range the second time you revisit. So maybe pick a spot on the back behind you. And when you go back and you find that spot again, can you look beyond it just a little bit more? Come back through center. So we inhale and then we exhale on the twist. Inhale back to center. Exhale on the twist. Good. Inhale back to center. Good. And then just drop that strap. Give a little shake. All right. So now we're going to take the strap behind us. We're going to widen our stance once again. So I'm going to recommend that your palms face to the front with this. So if you want to watch me first, I'm going to come into my hip hinge again, and then I'm going to let the strap, my hands come forward. So it's a nice shoulder opener. And then as far as how much to bend or straighten the knees, I want you to feel what feels good in your hamstrings. So if your hamstrings are very tight, you're going to want to keep those knees bent quite a bit and really send your sit bones back in space. If you have pretty good length in those hamstrings, you can straighten without hyperextending the knees. And once you come forward, let the head be heavy and just swivel your head side to side. Open your mouth, open your jaw. If this doesn't feel good on your shoulders, you could just lay your hands across your low back. Open your mouth, wiggle your jaw side to side, stick out your tongue. No one can see you. Good. And now soften the knees, scoop and curl, and come all the way up to standing. All right. So we're going to come into some balance using the strap. I highly recommend that you have your chair nearby. So we're going to come to the hand to foot. So let's step in the middle of the strap. So what we can do is come down into a tiny little crouch position like this. We have the strap under one foot, doesn't matter which one, we're gonna do both. Now you're growing like a tree, and you're pushing through your feet, and you're starting to bring that leg up that has the strap under the foot. All right, so find your support. Feel the foundation in that foot. Abs are pulling in, I'm lengthening. All right, soft through the standing leg. Let's just take a couple little pumps right here with that knee. All right, so this might be as far as you want to go. That's perfectly fine. Otherwise, you can try to extend that leg straight out in front, and it doesn't have to be up. It could be down like this at an angle towards the floor. So we're coming up, and then you can start to take that leg out to the side. So I want to make sure that I have some integrity through my bones right here. And one more level here is you can reach and come into a counterbalance. All right, so this is where the chair could come into play. So it's almost sort of half moonish. Good, and come back up. And we're going to bring it back to center, bend the knee, and then bring the foot all the way down and release that strap. Before we do the other side, let's take a circle sweep. We'll inhale, reaching up. Exhale, bring the hands together, forward fold, down through the central channel, lift, toes up, let the head be heavy, bend the knees so much that your belly can connect with your thighs, and wiggle out your shoulders right here. Good, and then we're gonna slowly come up. Hands can come to the shins as we come into a flat back right here, flat back. So I want to keep belly in. So you could serve dinner right here on this tray that is your back, and then lower all the way back down, soften the knees. One more time, my sitting bones are back in space. I'm going to slowly come up. This time my hands come on my knees. I'm going to take a little arching curl through the spine right here. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, and then we scoop and curl, and we float those arms back up overhead once again. Inhale, exhale, hip hinge, forward fold. While you're down there, grab your strap again. Now we're gonna loop it under the other foot. All right, so we're under the other foot. Now most of us balance better on one side than the other, so no judgment, we just notice All right, so we're gonna start down in our little crouched position. We push through the feet, push, push, push the earth away, and start to lift up that other leg. So we have a bent knee right here. Okay, little pump, kind of open up that hip joint before you take the extended leg, okay? So you can have your chair or kid or a dog or whatever, something to help you with your balance if you're feeling weebly wobbly. So I have a flexed foot right here. All right, and then we can start to take it out to the side. So with balance, sometimes, because it's a little more static, we might tend to hold the breath. So make sure you keep the breath going. Inhale and exhale as you find that position of stability, or maybe moments of stability. All right, if you want to take it to the next level, you can start to come into your counterbalance and reach. Nice. Beautiful. And then we'll come back to center. We'll bring the knee in. We plant the foot and we lower all the way back down. You can move that strap off to the side. And then we're going to hang down here for just a second. And so again, this could be a chair thing if you wanted to. We're going to plant one hand directly underneath our face. My knees are soft, and I'm going to take a twist open. So the knee that is on the same side as the hand that's reaching up can be straightened, and the other knee can be softened. Come back through center, and then we'll take the other side. Yeah, it feels so good. And then come back through center, engaging through the abdominals. We're going to rise all the way up. All right, so the next piece is going to all be with the chair again, but you don't have to. You could definitely do this whole thing on the mat, but I'm going to go ahead and demo it on the chair. So you're going to take one foot and plant it up on the chair. Okay, so if you have different size chairs, you'll have to see what works best for you as far as this height. But what you're looking for is that your knee can be directly over your ankle and your back heel is reaching long down toward the earth. Okay, so I'm lengthening through that whole back side. All right, so both hands can come either on the arms if you have it or on either side of your foot. Now you're going to plant the hand opposite of the foot that's down, and we're going to take a twist open. So reaching up towards the sky. Now lift up onto the ball of your foot. Lift up as high as you can, and then lower. Lift and lower, and lift and lower, and lift and lower, and then bring that hand down. And now we can hop the back foot in a little bit and start to send the hips back, straightening out through that front leg. So again, if you have super tight hamstrings, you might start this whole thing up here and then make your way forward. Otherwise, you can have hands down here. And one more piece to make it a little bit more is to flex the toes up, pull the toes back towards your nose. So your heel is on the seat, right? So I'm still long through my spine. Inhale and exhale. Good, and then we're gonna soften and bend that knee. All right, so here comes another piece that is going to be very important, that your chair is stable. So we're gonna find a plank off of the chair, like so. All right, so bring your thighs together, your knees together, your ankles together, and find that good plank position. We're gonna soften and bend the elbows, and then we're gonna straighten right back up again. You could definitely be on your fists for this if you want to, or if that doesn't feel good either, you could definitely just come onto elbows and hold an elbow plank. Otherwise, let's go down and up and down and up. So we're down an inch and up an inch, and abs are pulling in, my neck is long, my heels are reaching long back behind me. All right, so keep that going. Here's an extra little challenge. Let's see if we can lift one foot and keep the little pulse going. All right, and then plant that foot and lift the other. Up an inch, down an inch, up an inch, down an inch. Beautiful. Plant that foot. Now send the hips back. Make a little L shape with your body and then press away. You can let the head look straight down towards your mat. Maybe you drop it down a little bit and rotate it side to side. And then we can wiggle the hips from side to side too. Good. And we scoop and curl and we come up. All right, so from here we'll take the other side. So we're planting now the other foot, and the other leg reaches long back behind us. So this in and of itself is just a really nice way to stretch the hip flexor. Mindful that you don't come into back extension. So I still have some integrity through my torso here. All right, so as the hands reach, the heel is reaching long. So I get a nice Achilles stretch. And then you could come up on the ball of your foot and then press it down. Now the opposite hand will plant next to the foot that's on the chair, and we're going to take a twist open. All right, so here we go. We're going to push through the foot and down. So the heel lifts and lowers and lifts and lowers and lifts and lowers, and one more. Good, we come back down. We're going to straighten. Maybe the back foot pops in a little bit, and we send the hips back with a straight front leg. So remember, the options here are to be more in an upright position and then find your end range, or perhaps you are starting from this position with toes pulling back towards your nose. So when you are discovering an end range, you always want to approach it slowly. So you never want to just find that end range, because then the muscles go, what are you doing? So you kind of ease into it. You test the water, dip your toe, see where that end range is. Inhale here, exhale, and then we're going to take the foot down, and we're going to find that sort of a L shape once again. All right, so from here, lift one heel and then the other. Right, left, right, left. So we're kind of prancing. Remember the prancer sizes? We're prancing right here. So good for the feet. All right, come up on the balls of the feet. Step a little bit wider. And now come into some ankle circles right here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale and switch. Inhale and exhale. Good. And we'll come to rest. Walk your feet in, engage the abs, scoop and curl, and round up to standing. Fantastic. Okay, we're going to have you keep the chair nearby. Doesn't matter which side. We're going to step into a lunge. We're going to come forward. So we're finding a crescent lunge, and you can have the chair right here nearby. So if I show you this from the side, I'm going to look for this back knee to be bent so that my calf is parallel with the earth. My front knee is aligned with my ankle. Okay, so that's what you're shooting for. If you're reaching for your chair, be mindful that you haven't come sort of off kilter. You still want to be upright here. So from here, you're going to reach those hands up overhead unless you need to hold on. Okay, you're going to lift up the front heel and lower. Lift up the front heel and lower. Lift up the front heel and lower. And one more. Good, release. Now you're going to reach forward, as far forward as you can, and then plant the hands down. Now you could reorient yourself so that you're in a lunge with your hands on the seat of your chair. So from here, we're going to shift forward and reach that extended leg back behind you. Okay, so you could be here sort of in a three-legged dog position. Soften the standing leg. Good. Now flex the foot and bend the knee and open the hip. Okay, so you can either have your hands to the mat or to the chair. Your choice. Good, beautiful. Circle the ankle in space, one way and then the other. Now circle the thigh bone in space, one way and then the other. Beautiful. Slowly come up. You're going to plant that back foot, find that lunge position again. So we're lowered down, but this time, this back leg is going to be lengthened. Okay, so the knee is not bent. All right, so check it out. From here, you're going to see if you can reach arms out to the side, and then see if you can hug underneath. They come underneath your thigh, and then open and hug underneath, and open and hug underneath, and open. Good, and then reach up overhead. Beautiful. We're gonna step together. So both feet come side by side. Nice. So the leg you were just standing on, take that in front, flex the foot, soften this standing leg, and send the hips back. So a little stretch again here on this hamstring. Bring your hands to your hips, and let's take a little swivel, right and left. Good, and we'll curl all the way up. Fantastic. Okay, we're gonna do the other side. So you can switch your chair to the other side if you want to, if it's easier, or if you decided you don't need the chair, you could move it off to the side. So I have all 10 toes front. I am bending the back knee for this first piece right here. Okay, so here we are in our lunge. So we're sinking down. We feel like we're pushing through the heel of the front foot. We're reaching those arms up overhead. Inhale here and exhale. Let's bring those hands around the front foot. Cool. Taking a breath right here. And then we're going to slowly push all the way up, reach up overhead. Now, we're going to extend that back leg, and then we're going to hug underneath, and we open. We hug underneath, and we open. And we hug underneath, and we open, and one more, building some heat in the legs. We come up, reaching all the way up to the sky. We step together, one foot next to the other. That leg you were just standing on, take that heel straight out in front, lift the toes, send the hips back. Ah, feels so good. Beautiful. All right, we're scooping, curling, and rounding all the way up. Let's take that balance now. So we're gonna revisit, we're coming back, and we're gonna find that hands tented, and then your head can be looking at that knee. You're reaching that leg straight back behind you for a little balance. If you want to release those hands, you can bring them up to your heart. Good, and then back down, and both feet come together, and we scoop and curl, and we come all the way up to standing. All right, we are going to move the chairs off to the side. If you want to grab a little drink of water, we'll be making our way down to our mat with our straps. All right, so as you lie down on your back with your strap, you're going to lasso one foot, and the other leg is extended long. So you're pointing that toe. I'm flat through my back of my head, my shoulders are relaxed. So the beauty of the strap is that your arms are longer now, so it's hard if you can't reach your foot. If you're tight through your hamstrings, you might be more down here at 45 degrees. So we're looking for a straight knee right here. So you have this, this sort of oppositional resistance here that holds the foot. So here we can point and flex, and then that foot can go side to side, side to side. Now you're going to bring The strap into the hand is the same side as the leg is long. The other hand's going to reach out to the side. We're going to allow that leg to fall open. I want you to pretend I'm coming around, I'm pressing on your opposite hip bone. We want to keep that opposite hip bone heavy. So there's a couple options here. If you would like to make this a deeper stretch, you can pull your foot a little bit higher up towards your head. If you need to decrease it, then you could definitely just be out here closer down towards the other leg. So see what feels good to you in here. Inhale, and then we'll come back through center. Bring the knee back in, and then reach that leg long once more. Okay, we're going to sickle the foot. We're turning the foot inward. So you should get a nice stretch here through these peroneals on the outside of the calf. And then allow the opposite arm to open to a T, and we'll let that leg come across the body. But listen, we want to keep both hips heavy right here. So this stretch gets this sort of IT band into the hip a little bit more, like this whole outer quadrant of the leg. And then when you're ready, you can allow the hip to come up and over. We find that spinal stretch looking in opposition. So again, if you want to accentuate the stretch a little bit more, pull the strap to pull your foot a little bit closer towards your head. Inhale and exhale, bring that knee back to center. And then we'll unhook that and we'll let the leg come long. Set the strap off to the side for just a second. Give your hips a little wiggle, a little shake. Just feel the difference between one leg and then the other. See if you notice anything. Before we do the other side, let's go ahead and bend the knees, flatten the feet. We're going to rock the pelvis. Here we go. We're pushing the hips up to the sky. We're finding bridge once again. So walk your feet in a little bit more so you can come up onto the balls of your feet. Reach your hands up to the sky. Good. And then give me a couple tiny little pulses, pushing those hips up to the sky, pushing up the balls of the feet. So it's definitely possible to stay on your feet as long as the ankle and knee are in alignment. So with this up on the balls of the feet, they're back behind the knees a little bit. Look straight up between your hands. Good, up and down. And then hold it at the top. And now you're going to tap the thumb of one arm, come back through center, tap the other, come back through center, tap the other, come back through center, and one more, and come back through center. Flatten the feet, walk them out, slowly lower one vertebrae at a time, hug your knees into your chest, and rock from side to side. All right, let's grab our strap. We're going to lasso the other foot. The other leg is out long, pointed toe. So you're going to discover for yourself, where is your straightest knee? Where is your end range with that backside of that leg? And then point and flex and point and flex, and then rock from side to side. Inhale and exhale. The strap comes in to the hand, the same side of the leg, that's to the sky, and the other arm opens. So we're doing the inner thigh stretch first. So let the leg fall open, heavy on the hip. Maybe you even take your own hand and push down on that hip bone. And then if you want a little bit deeper, you can start to pull that strap, pull that foot a little bit higher up towards your head. Listening to your body the whole time. Beautiful. Awesome. Soften the knee, come back to center, and then extend that leg back up to the sky. So here we'll sickle that foot. We're going to bring it inward. Change which hand holds the strap. So now it's opposite hand, opposite foot. The other hand is open. And then we come across the midline, like maybe 45 degrees or so, until you feel that nice length and stretch through the whole outer part of that leg. Inhale and exhale, and then allow the hip to come up and over. We find that full-on supine twist. You can look in opposition of the leg. You could pull a little bit deeper if you like. Good. And then soften and bend the knee. We come back to center. Release that foot out of the loop. Put the strap off to the side. And then extend everything long. Give yourself a shake. Shimmy out your hips. Cool. All right. One last little challenge. And then we're going to come into feet flat. We're going to tilt the pelvis. Press back up into your bridge. All right, walk your feet together. So your knees and ankles are together. Extend your right leg long. So listen carefully. Your right leg is hovered over your mat. Feel how you're pushing into your left foot. Now let your left knee, the bent knee, fall out from center, back to center. Out from center, back to center, out from center, back to center, and one more. Good, and release. Plant that foot. Stay lifted if you can. All right, we'll take the other side. So now the left leg lengthens, hovers over your mat. The bent knee, the right knee, falls out from center, back to center. You want to keep those hips as level and parallel as possible. You got this. We got 3 more, and 2, and 1. Bend the left. We're still in our bridge, but now we lower. Let the hips be heavy, and we'll hug the knees into the chest and rock from side to side. That one's a really good inner thigh burner. Okay, roll to one side. Come on up. Maybe you grab your chair. This is optional to do with the chair if you want or not. I'll show you both ways. We're coming into a straddle. I have my toes and knees up to the sky. You could simply just fold forward and rest your upper body on the chair. If that doesn't feel like enough of a stretch, then you can do away with the chair and then come forward. So what we're looking for here is not to come into this rounded back, but to be lengthened out. So I'm still heavy down through my tailbone. My abdominals are still being engaged, and I have my thighs are spiraling open. So you're going to either walk to your hands, your elbows, or onto the chair. And we're just going to take a breath or 2 right there. Inhale and exhale, and then slowly come up out of it. So we're going to come into a cobbler pose, soles of the feet together. So if your knees aren't happy with this, then you could definitely do this one with legs extended in front. So with the soles of the feet together, pulling the heels in close, you could grab onto your toes and then hook your elbows over your shins and lengthen. So you create the space by having this oppositional resistance. I'm getting longer, longer, longer. Inhale here. And if you would like to shift your elbows now to your inner thighs, pressing down, you could grab onto your feet, and then we press the elbows down as we open up the knees and give a nice inner thigh stretch right there. Good. And then we scoop and curl, we come up. We're going to extend the legs long, give them a little shake. All right, with a flexed foot, we'll reach those arms up overhead, and now we'll take our forward fold towards the toes, whatever's available. So if the hammies are still super tight, you can have a bend in your knees and just grab behind. You can also grab that strap again and lasso around the feet. So giving him a little bit of a tug there, whatever you can reach. Again, I am lengthening. So if you lengthen through the spine, you usually don't get as far. So it's not about belly down on your thighs. It's more about the length of your spine. Good. And then we release. We come all the way up. We can lean back on the hands a little bit. Give a little rock from side to side on those knees. Cool. And then I'm going to invite you to find your very, very favorite Shavasana pose. So it might be sitting in the chair. It could be child's pose. It could be just lying on your back. You could maybe get a blanket, a pillow, put on a jacket, put on some socks. You could be in a little fetal position. So it's whatever works for you. And once you have discovered that position of surrender, just tune into your breath. Check in with your body. See how you feel. This is a daily reminder to relax, to not get angry over small things, to stay calm. This is a daily reminder to be yourself, to not care what people think, to know that you can be anything. This is a daily reminder to love yourself, to not hurt yourself, to not work yourself up. This is a daily reminder that you are amazing, that you are beautiful, and that you will succeed. This is a daily reminder to always have hope, to have faith, and to know that everything will be okay. This is a daily reminder that you have made it so far already, that you haven't given up, that whatever you're doing is right, and that you're going to be amazing. Don't give up. Keep holding on and believing. So bringing your awareness back into your bodies, deepening your breaths, bringing movement back in, wiggling your fingers and your toes, taking any final movement or stretch that you might still be yearning for. And then rolling over to one side if you were on your back and coming up to a comfortable seat. Bringing your hands together at your heart. Closing your eyes, feeling your thumbs against your heartbeat. Having so much gratitude for having bodies that we can move and stretch and breathe and strengthen and lengthen. They do so much for us. So thank you all so much for joining me today. I so appreciate you being here and connecting with you. Namaste. All right.